February 24th, 2014, I sent off an application and a resume to the producers of my favorite Broadway show of all time, the Blue Man Group. You see, my high school theater teachers had told me for years that this show was always seeking fresh talent. And on February 24th, well, I was feeling particularly fresh. My mama always told me that I had talent, and so I figured this was right up my alley. 3 months pass. No response. I'm beginning to think maybe they're not interested. Can you blame them? I mean, my high school theater credentials are about as qualified as Kim Kardashian's acting experience, and my headshot was my most recent Instagram post. But here's the thing, folks, I still got 6.5 minutes left, and I assure you this speech is not about how to deal with the adversity of somebody not responding to your emails. So sit back and relax, because I'm taking you on a trip to New York City. Fast forward, August 26th, I'm on a plane to the Empire State to audition for the Blue Man Group. I arrive at the rehearsal space, 599 Broadway Avenue. The director greets us and begins to explain a series of exercises to us, most of which involve facial expressions. Lucky for me, I spend a lot of time in front of the mirror. Okay, I'm not sure how to explain this, but I consider one of my greatest assets to be my eyebrow movements. And if you don't know what I mean by that, well, this is the right eyebrow. This is the left eyebrow. And this is a little something I like to call the wave. Now, because my face is so malleable, I like to think that I can convey a wide variety of emotions using my facial expressions. And because of that, I was fairly confident with my audition. The director told us that he'd give us a call by the end of the day if he wanted to see us further. 6 p.m. rolls around, no phone call. Maybe, just maybe, I'm not as talented as my mama told me I was. But here's the thing, folks, I still got 4.5 minutes left, and if you were really wishing that I was going to conclude this speech with a series of weird eyebrow movements, well, I'd like to apologize in advance. Fast forward. The next day, I'm back at the Blue Man Group rehearsal space. Why? Because I got a call to come back. Now, I'm no expert, but I believe this is what they refer to as a callback. The morning audition was rough. I'm not going to lie, I wasn't very comfortable with the way that I was performing, and everyone else around me was at least 26 years old, full-time acting in New York. Safe to say I was a little bit intimidated. In fact, by the end of it, I was certain that I was going to be cut. The director walks out, begins to read the names on the list. My heart skips a beat. My name was on the list. Fast forward, the final audition. I'm sorry, wait, what? What am I doing here? I was supposed to get cut. To my right stands Tom, 29 years old from Brooklyn. To my left, a man by the name of OG, a performer from Brazil. What am I, a 19-year-old science student studying in Kingston, Ontario, doing here? The final audition was amazing. It was some of the most interesting and experiential theater I've ever been able to partake in. We worked on scenes from the actual show. We worked on developing the character of the Blue Man. We spent 30 minutes on our posture. Quite frankly, if I wasn't having so much fun, I think I'd be entirely confused. The director walks out, begins to read the names on the list of those performers who he'd like to invite to train with the Blue Man Group. And well, folks, well, I'd love to stand here and tell you that my name was on that list. If I really did make the Blue Man Group, right now, you'd be looking at a blue man dressed in brown, not a brown man dressed in blue. As I walked out of the audition space, the director called me over. And I remember his words very clearly. He said, "Look, Akash, we think you have a lot of skill and a lot of talent. Unfortunately, we don't think your story is as developed as some of the other actors. We think you could benefit from some more stage experience, some more life experience, and maybe we'll see you back here in a few years. Fast forward. Actually, rewind. My story. What did he mean by that? I've grown up with stories my whole life, but this was the first time when I began to think of my life as a story. And the more that I thought about it, the more I realized that as university students, we often model our lives and write our stories based on the successes of others. But this experience with the Blue Man Group showed me another school of thought. I'm never going to be able to write on my resume, I almost made the Blue Man Group. I was real close. I was right there. And then I failed. Because I failed at getting that part. But for the first time in my life, I succeeded at writing my own story. I took a chance. I had no expectations, and it ended up being one of the most fulfilling experiences of my life. People will often encourage you to ask the question, what do I want to do with my life? And while I still don't have an answer to that question, what I do know is how I want to live it. I want to write my own story. I want to be proud of the chapters that I've written. And most of all, if anyone ever asks me why I did it that way, I want to be able to ask them, why not?